Everybody good? I don't know what time it's like. Hi guys, we have 3 minutes according to somebody because I don't know watch on. And we've got a great group here. We're at the Tap Yard, freshly brewed poems, third Wednesday. And we are going to get started in a few minutes. I'm going to let you sit here and look at an open mic for just a few minutes. So I got myself going first. Anybody else want to go first? Or Marina, and then Justin. I sometimes steal something about myself. The whiteboard that I was going to get rid of.
That's what they're there for. Yeah, it's to be everything that I do, almost everything that I love. Detail. I know there was such a bit that I've been trying to get to all 50 states. And when I do, I keep a blog about it and I write it out. And then over the years, it's a slow process. 30 sections now. And there was a mic in Duke, Kentucky, if you can believe it. And they did a thing, they called it Brewed. And they just passed this notebook around and people were the ones that passed through it.
So you are now or say sometimes it's like, I'd like to read it again.
Yeah, we thought about that. With the dovetail, I certainly would. You know, we were on social media as an open mic. We were on Facebook for a while, Instagram for a while. And what I found was that I invested more time in managing that and posting than I ever did. And I also put an enormous fee for the occasion. And I wanted personally to get off those platforms. And so the open mic got off my life is share. You know, we have the one page for the open mic that's attached to my website. I pay for another domain.
So it's kind of perhaps so.
And I like this one because we used to start the word with writer's copy. And they always, and they posted it.
Yeah, once for sure, maybe twice. It was great, yeah.
So it's kind of
So how do you find it after
this one, I found.
yeah, that's kind of the deal. So, you know, well, Tony said that somebody in Midlothian posted the thing saying they were looking to start a theater with the so they're looking for, you know, it's like, yeah, right. Everybody's looking for venues. It did cause me to look at places in Waxahachie.
Yeah, the nice thing about consistency
in Waxahachie was more like an empty space or open space or whatever. They have more like an older, well, you really have like an old ass house. And they have like
genius.
Yeah.
and it seems like the one rented for a lot of money. You know, so it's kind of
I've never actually
yeah, I think
memorized anything. I just went to sleep on Monday and
oh
I got
yeah.
through it.
Oh
Didn't
yeah.
get like all it told me was like stop.
Well, and the only other thing I thought of was maybe if you approach like a city council or
Who were you taking?
chamber of commerce, it's kind of like there's people who
Which I should
actually
have
have
thought about.
downtown Wake Forest. They're from Wake Forest. You know, all the schools. So yeah, suddenly they have theirs.
I did the improv class.
I do too, but that's the way the world is.
That made it really hard. Sorry. It's hard to hear people.
Yeah.
Well,
Does everybody want to get started? I guess we can. hold on, somebody's like to read my poems. Let me first, I'll be the guinea pig, all right?
Yeah.
All righty, so I'm Debbie Johnson. This is Freshly Brewed Poems. We are here at the Tap Yard. This is just for the Facebook. Now, Facebook is here. I'm doing that mostly for you all because I think if you're like myself, I look at myself and see how I did and what I did and what I should do. But, you know, if you don't like it, I can always put it aside if you don't want to be recorded or anything like that, stuff like that. You know, if you're on the witness protection program, you totally understand. Totally. So, you know, that being said, I think everybody here, we do have some new people, might not know the genesis of Freshly Brewed Poems. It started out during COVID. A friend of mine said, to Larry's Coffee, he said, oh, poetry and coffee, those two things go together. And so Larry was very generous and let us put our poems on his website. And then we would, you know, do some events there. But as things opened up, you know, and his bandwidth got kind of smaller, he said, you know, maybe you want to go someplace else. So we went someplace else, and this is where we are right now. So we're going to be doing this every third Wednesday. So make sure that you guys come down. If you have anything that you need to promote, please let us know what you're doing or where you're going. You know, we're going to be next, or anything that you need from us, because we're here to help you guys, and that's it.
Where are you going to be next?
What's that?
Where are you going to be next?
Where are we going to be next?
You got a new thing.
Yes. Thank you, Sam. Oh, there's my ringer right here. So we're able to locate another venue, which I tried out a couple months ago, and it's a really cool little spot. It's Crave Hot Dog and Barbecue, and they're on Overland Road, right there at the intersection when you come off the Wade Avenue, Overland Road, right there on the left-hand side. And there's plenty of parking, because I only like places that have lots of parking. And Sundays are great, because I park for weekends. But, you know, that's insane. But yes, so I have a little flyer. It's from 3 o'clock until 5. I do have a rather large beer thing on there. I started realizing, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But they have this amazing beer wall, which is really kind of cool because you can drink just as little as you want or just as much as you want. You pour your own beer. So it's really a pretty cool little thing. And the hot dogs are great. So yes, thank you, Sam. We are going to be there on the 5th, which is the first Saturday. We'll be doing the first Saturdays from 3 to 5. Check your emails and stuff like that. So, I will start. I will be number 1. So this is called You Aren't Worth It. This is new shit.
New shit!
Thank you. It's called You Aren't Worth It. Tilted umbrellas along a line of picnic tables. Each word that comes from my mind is a line you or me or he said. Undercovers breathing each other's air as my genitalia throbs to be next to he or me or we that said the words that I hear, staring alone along that line of tilted umbrellas. Sigh deep to keep the fluids in, my eyes leak, my thighs ooze, slick, my pipes literally at my house seep. It's a sieve in my life right now, draining soul and substance from sinks and drains and showers and from between my thighs and out my eyes, out of the burnt heart, to burn the frickin' tilt out of those umbrellas. That's a really bad one to start with. I'm really sorry about that. Might as well just do it, right? This one is called Orchid Dus, and I feel like I've probably read this before, but it has a lot of meaning for me. A person I know very closely was in she was an event organizer, and she had a customer who was very abusive to her, to a point where she would go in the closet and cry. And the wife would constantly slip her gifts to kind of smooth the thing over, to make her not feel so bad. And at the end of the event, when everything went the way she knew it would go, he gave her an orchid. And she took that orchid and put it in the office where a group of other women shared it with her, and never telling them exactly what the orchid meant. So this is called Orchid Dust. It slipped to the bricks, A flight from a window, open at midnight. An orchid given to polish the feelings rest by an unpolished hand. Particular fingernail and flick on clay pot sent it to his two-story demise. Swept up with no trace by the dawn patrol of street cleaners with brooms, swept to the dustbins, or maybe even rescued, with no clue to the retinue of accommodating women, silenced with a wink, a gift, a threat that cooperation was much more prized than their work. So with satisfying crash, echoed in brick alleys, soothed more than the trinkets bestowed as gags. The beautiful orchid, more cherished dead now than it was alive. Hey, Bill.
Right.
Good, now I can relax and have a cocktail.
Hi guys, did you guys sign up? That's a life-sucking couch. All these couches are life-sucking. You can get into it and then you get out there. So, did you guys sign up? You gonna read? No? Okay. Alex?
Me?
Yes.
Alright, hey y'all, how's it going?
Good.
I want to do something a little different than what I normally do because I have some kind of big news. I wrote a book and it went off to the proofreader last week and I got it back today. And so it's going to a designer in like a day and it's going to be a real book. Thank you. I'm really proud of it. If you have heard my work before, it's kind of blunt and a little graphic. I don't know what the right way to describe it is, but it's not sing-songy and it was really cool to put it together. And I haven't told a lot of people this, but the title of the book is going to be called The Floor of the Bathroom.
Floor of the bathroom. Nice.
I think a lot of the moments that I write about are inspired by a lot of the floor of the bathroom moments that you might have, especially as a young adult who came of age without a support system, and what does that look like, especially as a woman in your relationships and your own mental health. And so I want to read you the epigraph of the book. It's not super long, and then if I have time, I'll give you a poem. So this is like the intro part of the first opening. It says, in 2018, at age 24, I stood at a podium, looked out at a sea of red caps and gowns, and began to deliver my address. I was finally graduating college and had been selected from the sea to speak on behalf of my department at our ceremony. I was an overcomer, an achiever, and I had gone from sleeping in my car the night before I graduated community college to sitting on 2 acceptance letters to Ivy League universities for graduate school. I gave my speech to my undergraduate peers and professors about my hard work and my gratitude for the institution. I finished my speech to a roaring of applause, walked off into a parade of hugs and pats on the back. I will never forget standing in the reception room with a cookie and a napkin, a little clear glass half full of lemonade, when I got a tap on the shoulder from a stranger. It was an old man wiping a tear from his eye, and he said, "Your speech was really impressive. My son, he's graduating. He's never overcome anything with resiliency like that." I thanked him, and we moved on with our respective days. I had never been more celebrated and more revered than I was that afternoon in those moments following my speech. I had spent so long daydreaming about what it would be like to be recognized and not feel so invisible anymore. But as I walked away from that little reception room, I had never hated myself more. Being recognized is not being seen, and what we all really want is to be seen. The first step that I learned from that speech was that to be seen required showing up honestly. I walked into the bathroom of that venue, looked at myself in the mirror, and checked the tiny makeup-covered bandage that graced the right side of my chin. Just that morning, only a few hours before my speech, I had 10 stitches removed from a laceration on my face. I was embarrassed by the incident that I caused it. It was gnarly, required the consultation of 2 surgeons, and ended up racking up several $100s in medical bills. Like all other pain, heartache, and shame that I had tied up in a bow and delivered as a motivational address, I had covered the physical scar on my chin as well. I stood on that stage, the most perfectly packaged version of myself I could put together. It wasn't that speech that was dishonest, it was that it left out so much. I thought every day about that man's son and how if his dad just knew all the details of my story, maybe he wouldn't draw such a harsh comparison about our abilities to be resilient or not. I made a promise to myself that day and to this man's stranger son. My stories and my experiences are not victory laps or magic tricks. Victory laps. I will not tell my stories for the sake of being revered. It does nothing for me or for others to hold up a trophy and wave it around. It doesn't build connections. It's not a true act of vulnerability. Magic tricks. I will never again skip from the adversity to the victory without leaving out the raw and real hard parts of what it really takes to heal and overcome a trauma. It's not fully honest, and it creates an unfair expectation or standard of how others should be able to navigate their hardships. In a lot of ways, this book is the alternative to victory laps and magic tricks. It's the raw stuff, the painful stuff, the stuff I wish I had said on that podium instead. It's all the stuff I experienced between the car sleeping and the acceptance letters. It's peeling off the bandage, showing you the wound, and explaining the ways I stitched the skin back together.
Nice.
I'm gonna read one for you. Sorry, I didn't realize this would be so hard. Just scroll through on I'll just read one because I know it just took up a lot of time, but it's called Unearthing, and it is about all things that you drudge up when you first start trying to do work on yourself, or go to therapy, or get help, or whatever it is. And I felt like there wasn't a lot of work out there to describe what that feels like, and this was what it felt like. It goes, I'm spitting plates, I'm balancing knives, I'm reaching into my sockets and grabbing my eyes. I want to drive through Nebraska in the middle of the night and scream. I want to go someplace I know you won't be. I want to climb to the tallest building and slide on a rope all the way down. I want to trace my outline on the outside of the ground. I want to pick up the phone and call the president. I want to hand it to you and have you tell him that you rigged the game when we were playing cards, pulled out and pocketed the queen of hearts. Step over my feet with the rail guards and hear the traffic go by. It's riddled with sirens. What are the chances that somebody calls them? My dog's at the door. And man, I love him. I'll put my anger at the tips of my toes, bend my knees and clear my throat. Take a deep breath and do a leap. I'll be the darkest ballerina you ever did see. I only dance under the moon. I'll pick up the knife that was covering the truth and hold the blades tight to my palms, walk through the halls and hum the song you always sang when you got ready for work. I want to go back to that spot outside of the church and roll the dice we left before I ever got to go. I want to go back and fix that home. I'd first take a sledgehammer to the basement wall, start the work at the root of it all, the orange gray carpet, the model trains, the cables on pipes and the picture frames, the neatly placed envelopes in the washing machine, the spinning chair I like in an old Christmas tree, the place I signed my name under the paint, the rug-covered hard water stains, the weights you bought to get in shape, the tape on the window, it leaks when it rains, but everybody wants that bonus space. I want to take a picture of it with my brain and sell it at auction. I want to go back to that hotel in Wisconsin and record the call so I can prove to myself that you also once wanted it all. I'll drive through the night and stop in Tennessee. I'll relive the day that I climbed that tree and refused to climb back down into the grass. I'll put my feet out on the overpass and feel the vibration of the bridge rattle my organs. I want to order from a restaurant I can't afford and get the steak. I'll leave it untouched on my paper plate. I wash my hair in the water in the creek. I want to steady my voice a little more when I speak. I want to unearth it, take a shovel to the ground, speak about all the memories I've found. I'm going to hold the things that I've been avoiding, break all the fingers I've been pointing, and dress them in splints. I'm going to get to the bottom of this, and if I don't, and it goes on forever, then just call me your local plate spinner.
I get so involved listening to everybody. It's so amazing. And I want everybody to, feel comfortable. Please don't think that you're taking up too much time because I think, you're actually getting bigger now that I look out at you. Hey. Feel comfortable sharing. So thank you. Marina, I think, is next. And we had a couple new people come in, so we'll get you guys to sign in.
Hi, I'm Marina. Practicing reading my poetry and being heard. Just two goals today. First one is thinking. As this desire is thinking, I feel done. Though I continue roasting in the fire of the thought. The room swells. I've been smoking, drinking, fishing for the hook, caught. Feels like catastrophe, disaster. Defying truth, solidifying dread. Falling, atrophying, reaching stasis faster. Moving, cooling, living in the head. The moment wakens, falters, flickers shadows, sinks into the void. Who am I after all this? What constitutes the wreckage I avoid? If I can once penetrate the darkness, if I can recall the brief reprieve, then childhood before the fading sharpens and begs the glimpse of something up my sleeve. Within it, the thing I had forgotten, a holy word, a picture of the truth. The reddened river drifting falls fast often, and brings in the rush and momentary mood. Day turns to night, and nighttime lightens daily. The cycles wheel me to and from and to. Nothing takes me high enough lately. Nothing tells me what I'm here to do. And the background of this one is I was born in Kiev, Ukraine, and came to America when I was 2 years old. This film came out very recently. We came in the summertime. Sometimes I wish I was awake when we left, but I was too young and had no say. Silver spoon hanging from my refugee mouth. New land made the baby laugh, and they'll treat her good, give her clothes, shelter, food. Like a super rich kid, she won't know war. It's all her tired family wanted for her.
So you can do about 3 if you'd like, but so far I've been doing so that's the thing. Just say we've got a couple of new people that came in. Let's say something else. I'll think of it later. So we have Justin is next. Justin, I met at Tony Group. So cool, right?
Adjusted the way you want.
Well, hi everyone. My name's Justin. I wish I was talented enough to write poetry, but I can never make things rhyme. So, but
That's okay.
I do like to write stories from time to time, though, and I wrote a short one for you guys this past weekend. And this one's called "The Man Who Challenged Time." So, like any good story, you need an introduction, right? So, there was once a young man who had an insane amount of wealth. Much more than any one individual knew what to do with. He wasn't a fair man. He lied, cheated, stole, and smuggled his way to his unholy fortune. But there was only one person in the world who he cared about other than himself, his beautiful mistress. One day, that same beautiful mistress was found dead. Now, the circumstances surrounding her death remain unknown to this day, but the young man was convinced that someone had killed her. He made a promise that he would hunt down whoever it is that did that to her, to repay them the favor. And the young man thought he had a good lead on a particular individual, a mysterious man, and decided to confront him. He lured it outside of a bar one night, waiting for the mysterious man to exit it. And when he did, the young man grabbed his shoulder, turned him around, showed him his gun, and asked him, "Who are you?" The mysterious man looked at him, unfazed, unbothered, and responded with a simple, "Excuse me." Fed up with the mysterious man's response, the young man yelled, "I know what you did. You killed my lady. Now I'm going to do the same to you. But first, I repeat, who are you?" The mysterious man blinked once and answered with this. "You asked me who I am. Well, I suppose I can spare a bit of myself to tell you. I'm the entity that measures the beginning and the end of the world. I'm the thing that people wish for, but then suffer when they have too much of it. I'm the double-edged sword that makes problems worse, but makes all things heal. I'm the most formidable weapon that ever existed. Guns, knives, maces, and spears all falter at one point or another, but I've yet to have a single target slip through my fingers. People lose track of me, but I'm always gauging them. When people foolishly attempt to figure out how to traverse me, it is impossible. You can be paused and stopped in your tracks, but I surely cannot be. You have to be conceived, born, and you will eventually perish. I just am. If you lose something precious to you, your whole world will come to a standstill. Everything around me can crumble, and I'll still march on. You question how long it takes you to complete a task. I question myself when I want that task to be done. You are a mere human being. Some consider me a literal god. I'm going to tell you a secret, young man, and I suggest you catch on fast because I wait for no one. I've seen thousands of people walk your path, using other people to their benefit, and not caring to understand the consequences of their actions. It doesn't bother me how much money you have, nor does it matter how much wealth you accumulate, how many riches you stack. You will never be able to afford me. You see, I don't have a price tag, which is ironic because some people say that I am the equivalent of money itself, but in fact, I can't even be quantified. Indeed, I am infinite. You ask me who I am. Well, and I'm playing around. I suppose I'll tell you without wasting another second of my time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my name. You guessed it. It's time. And your old lady happened to run out of it. And if you keep traveling down the same road you're on, young man, you soon will too. Thank you.
I remember seeing him at the time of the group just blew me away with your stories. So, I think I would love to introduce Anna. Anna, I guess she could do her self-promotion, but she hosts the Tongue and Groove, which is on the second Sunday, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. Because that's what we're here for, is to help each other and to spread the word.
Thank you. Hi. So yes, I host an open mic every second Sunday in downtown Raleigh. It's called Tongue and Groove. If that is a good night for you to come out and share your poetry or stories or music, we have been going for a little over 6 years now at VAE, which is an art gallery. They're on Fayetteville Street now. We've moved a couple times with them. And it's a really great supportive space. And if you want to find us, we are on Meetup, and you can just Google Tongue and Groove Open Mic Raleigh, and you will find either the main webpage or the Meetup. And we would love to see you there. Speaking of wealth and things with no price, this poem I wrote the last time the Powerball got close to $1 billion, and we're there again, so I am rephrasing. It is called Powerball. I've changed my mind. Before the sensible things, mortgage, car loan, the kids' college funds, before hiring a lawyer, accountant, personal wealth manager, before my mom finds out her rent has been paid forever, before feeding America, saving the children, making a wish, before I am inundated with pitches, pleas, and interview requests, before anyone anywhere gets wise, my first act as America's newest billionaire would be to buy a car. One with no fewer than a dozen years of scratches and dents, a sagging headliner, a sticky window, and a passenger door that only unlatches if you lift up and press in at the same time. I'll need a couple dollar store beach towels to cover the seats, but that's it. That's the secret to happiness, which I first learned back in the 80s but forgot, and am burying for safekeeping here in the middle of this poem because I caught sight of it last summer, watching my daughter at 17, unemployed, but with a little cash saved up from last year, and madly in love with her green Corolla and her boyfriend. So after the photo shoot next to the winning ticket sold here sign, where I will stretch my last anonymous smile as wide as my cardboard check, I will borrow my daughter's hammock and drive my beater to the spot at the lake where I happen to know this year's crop of teenagers spends their sunsets. And you can say what you want about kids these days, but you cannot deny that they are our reigning experts on the deep narcotic sigh of a warm evening, on sleeping until you wake, and on how to enjoy today when there's no test tomorrow. I am so far out of practice on these richling skills that my only hope will be to stop at the library and pick up a book on first aid. When I get to the lake, I will string the hammock, climb in, open the book, and follow its advice. Loosen any tight clothing, elevate the legs, keep still. Looking around the shore, I'll know my wealthy comrades on sight. They will pull up in faded Hondas and Toyotas with peeling paint, park where the view is good, paying no heed to tree branches or bird shit or door dings, sit on their hoods and we'll talk. Pretend your money is a child, they'll say. Yours, but not yours, bound to its own purpose. Do your best to keep it out of trouble. Point it in a promising direction, but don't watch it too close. Give it some rain, like a teenage daughter you trust. One who understands that what's really next to godliness is that moment when you were gonna clean your room, but then you got a text that said, hey, weather looks good for a hangout. And like a true billionaire, you knew you could not afford to miss it. Struggling with these classes. All right. This is relatively new shit. I read it at Tummy Group last week, so for those of you who were here, and this will be familiar. I did change the ending though, and I think I like it better this way. It takes its title as a modification of the Stoic philosophy motto, Memento Mori, which means remember you will die, which is, the idea is keep death in your mind, we're back to death again, to inform your decisions in life. The title of this poem is Memento Nasci, which means remember you were born. A friend delights in telling me that Roman soldiers drew penises all over Hadrian's wall. Sends an article to the group chat and we all laugh, haha. And I'm not even faking it. The article points out that a penis meant something different back then. Did it? I mean, how is it not still a ward? Only instead of armies, today's scribbled cock takes aim at the phalanx of feminists as real as we are mythical. Or maybe, like my friend, it's just not. Either way, I don't want to talk about the penis. It gets enough attention. What I want to know is when did women stop drawing our junk? Assuming, that is, we had any part in sculpting those exaggerated yonic statues, let alone puzzling out the sacred geometry of the Vesica Piscis back in the day. Maybe I've just been picking the wrong stall in every ladies' room for 50 years. Stand squatting over toilets and never once seeing a vagina memorialized in Sharpie. Maybe it's a problem of perspective. To see your own vagina takes flexibility, good lighting, a mirror. I tried to draw one just now and had to look up an O'Keeffe for reference. Or maybe we're reluctant to remind anyone of that which we cannot defend. How for every dick doodled on a wall, somewhere there's a rape kit gathering dust. Sorry, that was a low blow. And I don't want a pat answer any more than I want a pat on the ass. What I want is to grok why any man can whip out a pen and without much effort make his mark unmistakable as an arrow, and I cannot render even a passable outline of its target. Even a mother like me, with 2 living daughters, and the child who slipped through, formless as the container that held him so briefly, why am I not compelled to lay claim to the glory of my shape on trees or school desks or the fortresses of my enemies? Because what could be more defiant? What better to slow the roll of a would-be hero with a heart-on for eternity than a reminder of his origin story? That smallest of beginnings, the impenetrable mystery, a challenge that says if you're come on. But first admit, you have no idea where you started or how you got here. And you know what's funny? Neither do
I. Everybody always apologizes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? This is on. I know. People not apologize, what do I say? Oh, I've never read this before, but it's like hearing an old song over and over again. And every time I heard it, I loved it when I heard it Sunday, and I'll do it more today. So awesome. Now I was going to make another comment about the noise out here. I remember when I was singing, and the guys that I sang with a DJ group, and he would, when I was practicing, he would come up and get right in my face as I was singing, because when you're singing in weddings, you get the drunk that stumbles across, and so he wanted to make sure that I could handle that. So this is every time somebody goes to the bathroom, this is your opportunity to handle the wedding crowd. So, yes. Anyways, sorry about that. But the next person is Dennis. And Dennis has some very interesting things coming up, so I'm excited to hear about it. Yeah. So let's do a little test for me.
Test?
Yeah.
Test. raise that up? The
Yeah.
test?
Are you heard in there?
Can you hear me?
I don't think it's
I might.
This is my old karaoke machine. Okay, talk. Go ahead and speak.
Oh, speak. I'm now speaking. So I'll do my shameless advert while I'm speaking. So 9th of August, we're going to do a thing for the first time here called Bar Room Becca. And I have some handouts. And on one side, if you have a blank on the back side, then you got the wrong one. On the back side is a lineup. Who's going to be performing what? It's not all Beckett. I happen to love Beckett, so I would not the whole line of Beckett. But I couldn't find too many more people than 3 or 4 others who would. So anyway, it's free. It's going to be in here, so you can drink away. You know where the restrooms are already. And you're all welcome. I have handouts, so before you leave, if you didn't get a handout, I'll make sure you get one so you know who's going to perform what. 9 great performers, 10 wonderful pieces of literature. No readings. It's all off book. It's actual performances. And so it's just ought to be a hoot. That's what I'm hoping.
It's my next
And I'm not one of the performers. And you'll now find out why. Okay, so I'm going to do this first piece. It's called The Old Trees. The old trees of the forest stand tall and stately. Sometimes you need to put on the glasses. Excuse me. I may start that over again. The old trees of the forest stand tall and stately. Their crested canopy provides shelter, shade for the young ones, the saplings, which rise from the forest floor. One day they will fall, these, the old ones, their fate to make room for those still to come, who now need to find their own way, their place in God's space, in the leafy roof of the world. And the fallen? Yes, their lives too go on, as seedbed, soil, the broken repositories of ancient lore, the nutrients in which the next generation is born. Lament, yes, they're passing. They were once grand. But understand, too, it is this sacred cycle which shapes our souls, a collective memory of who and what and from where we came. I'm happy. No, blessed to be one of the old trees. Okay, this one is entitled On Snipe-a-Weed. I bet most of you don't even know what the Snipe-a-Weed means. Hey, what's that for applauding? On Snipe-a-Weed. I speak a little Irish, so it's an Irish thing. It's a very Irish title, actually, because it quite literally means the thread yellow. But in fact, weed, to a Northern Irishman, is an orangement. So, which ain't yellow, it's orange. So it's an orange thread on Snipe-a-Weed. Any of you object to like nasty language?
We just had vagina, genitalia, and some
Oh,
other
yes.
stuff.
Well, but that's actually just anatomy.
Okay.
This, on Snipe-a-Weed. I'm not supposed to have these feelings. Rather, I can have them. I'm just not supposed to express them. Or if I do, I am supposed to apologize at some point, demonstrating I am aware of my failings, that I'm contrite, and I'm working diligently to overcome my flaws. Bullshit. The simple truth is these bastards had no right to be here. And the fact that they've been here for 300-400 years or so doesn't change a thing. You see, you can't just show up in a place, take someone's land and livelihood, kill off anyone who stands against you, then say, after some period of time, any period of time, this is ours. We belong here. The hell you do. You raped here, you stole here, you burned, looted, and destroyed all the gear you could find that wasn't to your liking. And you're still doing it as best you can, when you can, where you can, if you can, under the circumstances, all civil and legal, like, of course. And this isn't the only here where you pull this stunt. You see an orange thread and snipe weed, a saffron-colored, blood-spattered hand, runs through much of what makes the modern world ugly. Consider 1619, Tidewater, Virginia. Your cousins, some Dutchmen, show up one day with a ship full of Africans in chains and yell out from the forecastle, "Africans for sale? Get your red-hot Africans here." And you, the educated, cultivated, civilized sort that you are, you yell back, "I'll take two." What the fuck? You'll take two? You should have picked up a shovel or a musket and marched those sick pigs down their own plank and set the Africans free. Well, we know how that turned out. Not long after, 150 years or so, another Orangeman of sorts retires, becomes a land developer, gets a huge tract of muck we now call the Great Dismal Swamp, and sets his own private stock of Africans to work draining the place so he can subdivide, sell lots to any fool willing to build on sinking ooze and make a quick buck. And about that time, Thomas Jefferson penned such words, seriously inspiring stuff. All men are created equal, even the ones you don't. Presumably. Well, okay. All except for Africans and Indians, which pretty much covered all the non-whites around at the time. You see, the House of Burgesses, essentially the first New World Orange Garter Halls, says everybody in Virginia has to be either white or black. Seriously. And since it was pretty clear the Indians weren't white, they had to be black. And poof, magic. In a flash, all the Indians in Virginia are gone. So 100 or so years later, Mr. Durand, another Orangeman, sitting back on his merry old England and on his merry old arse, draws a line or two on a map. Never been to any of these places, and he's not going to let ignorance get in his way. Holds it up, and bingo, Afghanistan. Warring tribes, different cultures, languages, religions, didn't then, doesn't now make a lick of sense, but hey. You see, somewhere in the Orange psyche is a notion they have the prerogative to take anything from anyone, anywhere, anytime, rename it, reshape it, replace it, remove it, and the local folk will love it or die trying. Or maybe just die. The thinking is, once all these Mohawk, Sioux, Pashto, Irish, Aborigines, Congolese, Palestinians, Welsh, Bantu, Maori, Argentinians, Hindis, Swahilis, Gujarati, South Africans, Hazaris, Iraqis, Sinhalese. Oh my God. Once all these folks discover the fun of staging your own productions of As You Like It, in English, of course, they'll dump their quaint native cultures, all those unfit for literature languages, those ill-formed, likely ill-intended religions, their uncivil, archaic outlooks, laws, and customs, and reform. Yep, the grandest reformation of all. The fact is, wherever an Orangeman set foot, someone's neck was under it. From Asia to Africa, the Middle East to the Americas, an Orangeman had left his mark like a scar, which has disfigured the once beautiful face of humanity. And they're not sorry they did it. I'm sure as hell not sorry they said it.
I did my thing. Yeah, you did. You can always remind us, though. That's always the case.
I really want to apologize for the heat in here. I don't know. It feels like they must have put the heat on. I checked the thermostat. Mike, could you do me a favor? Make sure they don't have the heat.
But is everybody comfortable? I mean, heat-wise, you comfortable?
Okay, I'm over here struggling, so. Probably would like to do this. You got Sam is next. He's no longer Sam. Sam's been a great help for me, and so I appreciate it.
said you borrowed the bathroom. You said you get flowers.
Thank you very much. Alright, so I'm going to read something else, but then as you will see, Kay comes and start talking about fruit. So, but I do tend to like hide behind words, even when I don't realize that's what I'm doing. And I'm like, oh wow, this word is so cool. Not to Tony Brewed, the first time I went there, which was, it's been like 3 months ago, I was really nervous. I had a really hard time. And when I left there, it really bothered me because I couldn't figure out why I was so nervous up there reading. And I'm talking about like struggle to get words out. They were like choking me. And it really bothered me. I really thought about it. I was like, why was this so hard for me? And I realized that, through this thing with poetry, you're expressing yourself and you're really bearing your soul in many ways. And I was only halfway doing that. And I think that was why that caused me such angst that night, because I realized, hey, I'm up here trying to be raw, but if I really get raw, I'm still taking. So anyway, and this isn't the most true poem. Let me read the second most true poem. So this is just a little background on this one is my parents got divorced, which is not a huge deal. Lots of people's parents get divorced, but when you're 5 years old, it's a big deal. And the only constant in my life at that time was my grandparents' house. And I would go and spend a lot of time. But there, we had cousins there and stuff. And so there was also lots of unpleasantness that went around for there, and 5-year-olds of mine especially. The only sanctity there, the only sure thing there was my grandfather, who's a very stable person. So this is called The Chair in the Living Room, which is where he sat. The chair in the living room sits empty now, wherever it is, 40 years gone at least, I'm sure. No longer where it once was, but somewhere, still, I'm sure, in some more than ethereal form, still solid, it must be. I picture it now as it was then, his chair, before it was hers, when it was full of big, solid, strong grandfather Malcolm in the corner, smelling of the day of fresh tobacco picked and primed and dust from the warehouse, coating the hands that lift me. His voice vibrates through me as I sit on his knee and know that I am loved and safe. Safe from the wind blowing the river to white caps and from the dark outside, delivering sounds that live out there, out beyond the yellow light of the lamp reflected in the window, warming with its casting glow the living room. With its lamps and rugs, the brick hearth, its children playing on the carpet, father sitting ankle on knee on the sofa end, as far away as he can be, wondering about something unspoken, itching to speak it. Thankfully, the chair contains it all. He that resides in the chair commands the calm, keeping the room safe from that which scratches at the thin walls, from that which rattles the windows, and that which resides in us all. The kitchen feeds the room with sounds and smells of sweet tea brewing and frying fish fresh from the pamlico when it was earlier serene, glowing golden brown and warming sun, dirty clean, shining through the slats in the pier, clear to the sandiest bottom you've ever seen. The river's undulating mirrors surface showing cross-shadow angles of the day, bamboo poles and child anglers, tow hair, lines and bobbers, brothers, cousins, the father long wandered away, waiting for fish, waiting for fun, waiting for pool. Don't go into the boathouse with anyone, or alone. Don't get caught in there alone, ever again. But you know you will. Grandmother sits non-vigilantly under the tree by the hammock, smiling and waiting, until she cooks in the kitchen and cleans and prepares for the living room to enter and spread round the table. Head now, and his only other chair at the head, before it was removed and the table pushed against the wall, closing that space forever. Bow, pray, eat. I don't think the Father is happy that he sits beside us like the Son. Watch the bones. Don't choke on the bones. Dear God, don't let me choke on the bones. Amen. Or spill anything, or cough, or laugh. Amen. Then the condensing vacuum in the living room getting sucked into the TV as he starts to snore and the splintering begins. Fear, respect, wonder for the silent stoic, fading. And love withdrawing from the chair before he left it empty, before everything changed. Where is my mother? She is with the other. I don't have my words. This is called Yellow Was the Daffodil. Yellow was the daffodil, expecting to be bright and laughing in advance of the kill, now splashed with vibrant red, consecrated by the dying and the dead, who lay in ruins amongst the blooms, their spirits away to forever rooms, where they toil and torment and wonder in the space between the four walls. Why? They fought and they fell, no tale to tell, no lover to cry, no hero's glass lifted, no toast nor quaff said nor swallowed, no spoils gifted, no fanfare send-off, no heaven above, over no hell, no boiling tar, just cool and getting colder, tender age that they are, never to grow older. Thus painted daffodils wave goodbye in the breeze as four soldiers ride on, issuing signs, by slice and by slice, proceeding with ease. Scurrying dogs, cats, and mice join in fever, searching the hand that predicts the deceiver. Come, 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 they pray with the children. We believe, I am a believer, chanting each by his turn. I am a believer, I'll never burn. The daffodil run from the field, from holy water despoiled, from the people who yield. And this is one my wife says I should title all, but I call it There's a Branch. There's a branch that lives deep in the wood attached to a tree that used to be good. It has bends and crooks, as it should, and the drive remains in vines circling, but causing no harm, like the star from a lover exceeding her charm. But this is a branch, not a tattooed arm, and it's deep in the wood, feeling as good as it could, as it were, being attached to a tree that's no longer good. There's no nest in its reach, just some leaves at the end, past 17 trills, past the last bend. All that it lacks and longs for is a friend to laugh with and linger over forest details, like the winter's rain and the summer gales, and squirrel quarrels and snakes down below, and this and that, and old so-and-so. And they whisper and chuckle and smile and pretend they didn't notice they're drying as their leaves fell toward the end.
So I love about this group is that thank you, Sans, for coming since we were transfer company since CK, you know. You saw you coming, did you want to do it? No, okay, cool. We like listeners too, so if I missed anybody that's come in that I didn't, and I think we've got Marty is next. One thing I was going to mention is if you're hungry, we do have a hot dog guy out there, and let's see what else. And yeah, Marty, awesome. Let's give it up for Marty.
Hi, my name is Marty Rogers. I came here with the intention to just listen and not read anything, but here I am doing it. So I'm going to read 3 things. The last of them is the longest. So the first one is the struggle to participate in linear time, seasons, and crop cycles. Every year in the middle of May, I stop to examine the sinkhole that's formed in my chest. It was strawberry season a few weeks ago. Is it still strawberry season? Have I missed it again? Please God, tell me I haven't missed it again. Let it still be strawberry season, most sweet and warm but cool and bright blue time of the year. Lips on sun-warmed fruit, bursts of juice in my mouth. The softest moments of my childhood on loop in my head. I'll beg if I have to. I promise that this strawberry season, I'll pay attention to those days and the short-lived fruits picking and eating cycle. I'll say all my prayers for real this time. I won't waste any time or any berries. I'll be good and make sure I have time to get in my car and drive and find a good parking spot at the big farmer's market lot and go find the berries that look the best. Sure, oops, they look the best, yes, but also the berries that were grown with the most love and care for those who cultivate and pick them and package and sell them. Sometimes I think I can taste when they haven't arrived that way. Sometimes I plead with myself and God, I'll eat every single berry, please, especially the old squishy ones, please, please, please. I know I ask for a lot, but this time I really, really mean it. Picking up my phone to ask Siri if she knows when strawberry season is in North Carolina. You'd think I would know by now when strawberry season ends in North Carolina. Also, I've never shared an open mic thing like this before, other than in my friend's backyard, so I'm excited. Okay, this next one means a lot to me, and it's called Woman Wasp. Sometimes I feel a lot like a woman, and sometimes I don't feel like one at all. When I do, it runs deeply through me, past the soles of my feet, into a mycelial web of messy womanhood. Limerence of Sylvia Plath in a baby doll dress on the coast, feeling dejected over any and every and no particular thing at all. Perpetual pout fixed to my face, try to blend in through path of least resistance. I feel compelled to carry on a legacy of moody and often unstable women, all connected by blood and body and spirit and circumstance. The thread frayed from my late great-grandmother Marty's white skirt, caught by my grandmother and handed down through to my mother. It ties me to her and her and her, and all the hers before and the hers hereafter. Sometimes I dream of a daughter of our own. Will she choose to live carelessly in dresses the way I did as a child until I told that dresses weren't for me? But since I wasn't the right kind of girl, I was no girl at all. I pulled up moss at the base of the hickory tree in our front yard and buried her there. Now I sit under a dogwood tree with all the lobotomized women of the world, past, present, and future. Womb or none, we pass a tender, cool fig from hand to hand, incubation through chain of warmth, to emit the aroma that will bring pollination through woman lost. It disgusts those who don't understand what we don't need them to. Thank you. And this last thing is something that I've only read out loud one time to my best friend. But I like if I'm not actually being raw, like why I think that I'm being raw, so I'm gonna share it. Okay, remember, being a little kid and trying to explain to my teacher that I didn't do my homework because of A, B, C, and partially D. I remember seeing my father's handwriting on faded paper in a shoebox. When I was 4 or 5, I moved out of my childhood bedroom on my parents' home and out into the living room. I lined up my belongings on the second shelf of the old entertainment center, pulled groceries from the kitchen and lined them up on the shelf. My first place all my own. I had nothing to my name besides my family's macaroni, but the rent was free and the place had potential. Pulling faded papers from old boxes, exploring my options for ephemeral decoration, pulling shelved boxes one after the other, 1985 yearbook with flirty messages and bitchy signatures, Leonardo da Vinci's meticulous renderings on sinewy tissue, my sibling's head crowning for my mother in a photo no one was supposed to see. Why was that in the family photo album? Maybe our family crest includes a section on being self-conscious exhibitionists. I grew up beside my mother, half naked always. Her in her underwear doing laundry, me doing kid things in the front yard. I noticed her nudity, but I didn't think much of it. Should I be the half-naked mother? Would me doing laundry in my underwear tell my kids that it's okay to have a body and that they are always sexual? Or will it fuck them up and alter their relationship with me and impact their sexual development? Maybe the exhibitionist gene stops with me. The idea and realities of epigenetics simmer in me like Graham's turkey gravy reducing on the stove. What is inherited as a stain? What is a gift, intentional or intended? What have I absorbed as child sponge, adult sponge, perpetual sponge? My grandmother told me that she worked for the local paper. I never knew that. How fun. Not as a news reporter or groundbreaker, but as an envelope stuffer. Did she sell herself short when she applied for that job? I stuffed envelopes too. Fabric swatches and fat quarters for a now-defunct liberal fabric company. Repetitive flicks of the wrist, emotions of the fingers, my hand moving in tandem with hers. Our collective muscle memory. Growing up, I was afraid of the word death and the way it hung on my grandma's wall. Her father's death certificate as her last physical remnant of him. Her belongings burnt long ago in an accidental house fire. Irreplaceable photos of our family and lineage lost to domestic violence. Pain has shaped my family as far back as I can trace it.
Fire and hunger and bad genes inherited and created. Poverty and anger and whippings on lights and switches. Addiction in women before Lana was on vinyl, or addiction was seen as something that women were capable of. Hole in the wall, screaming fit, puddles of piss, dirty house, hospital trips. Pain risen from fear and tradition and lack of access to knowing how to do any better. I carry all of this with me, in the salt solution stored in my tear ducts, and the knots that live on my shoulders, and the furrow of my brow, and the harsh way that I speak. I feel my maternal history holding me, up and back, simultaneously. We built the ladder partially on our own backs and on those of others too. Stuffed bodies all amounting to something, I am meant to reach the highest fruit.
I sit here and I forget I was supposed to be leading this thing. Sorry. The smoke. Everybody else been affected by the? I haven't been lately, but this week it's been bothering me. I did a COVID test before I came, so that's I want to remind everybody that after we're doing this, there is going to be a comedy open mic, so stick around for that. The guy actually who's running it gave us a challenge. He said, I want to see if the comics can write a poem and then the poets can write comedy. So we haven't talked about that yet. So, yeah. I don't think poets and comics go together, right? It's okay. Yeah. So in the other, did anybody else want to sign up? Or I saw a couple people. Did you want to read anything? So the unique thing about Freshly Brewed Poems is that sometimes it's a small group. What time is it?
8.
What time is it right now?
8.
Okay, so we have one poet left, and we can actually go around again. So if you, be thinking if you want another round, another thing about it. And so, but Mary is our last poet. So unless somebody else comes in and wants to sign up, be thinking about a second poem that you want to do. And because we're here till 9. We might quit a little bit before because of comments. Yes, please. Oh, my equipment.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I came in a little bit late. So I was introduced to this community through one of my friends. I've gone to 2 of them now, love them. I met Anna Weaver, Debbie, CK, Justin. So it's super cool to see familiar faces and new faces here. I have 2 poems. The first one is going to be part of a trio. So I want to do lessons in schooling, lessons in serving, which I'm going to read right now, and lessons in sex, because I like the alliteration of it, and also I feel like they're all related, but this is lessons in serving. I am a server, yes. My job is to literally serve others. You'd think this title would be reserved for military troops, doctors, healthcare professionals. No, it's the title given to front of house restaurant workers. Or you can call me a waitress, which implies that my job consists of literally waiting on people to figure out what kind of beer, wine, cocktail they choose. What pairs well with this Pinot Blanc, they say? Yeah, I'll just get the Sauvignon Blanc. Wait, actually? And don't even get me started on the food part. It's either, I don't care, order me your favorite thing here. Or, I want the rigatoni, but make it with gluten-free pasta, no cheese, no parsley, I have an intolerance, extra sauce, but on the side, thanks. I've learned quite a lot about food and beverage this past year, but I've learned even more about people. I've learned that some people come in hangry and leave happy. Some people consider 10% generous. Some people consider me inferior to them, a vessel for gluttony and their bougie $100 bottles of wine. But I've also learned that some people, they see me, recognize my kindness, courteous, caring nature, 50%, 60%, 80% gratuity and generosity. Some people ask me about who I am, my dreams, my goals. They validate me, comfort me, compliment me. I just wanted you to know you're so beautiful, you're doing a wonderful job. Keep up the hard work, you made our experience unforgettable. Next time we're here, we'll ask for you. What's your number? Let's be friends. Some people have taught me so much about food, wine, travel. The Swiss Alps were among one of my favorite places I've ever been to. You have to go check it out. Also, recommendations to the best restaurants. Go visit Charleston with your boyfriend. 82 Queen has the best shrimp and grits in the country. I'm planning trips to Switzerland, to Mexico, Chile, Costa Rica, Spain, Italy, Greece, and I'm most definitely going to try those shrimp and grits. What have I learned most? People are imperfect, flawed. People have bad days, and I pretty much have a target painted on my back. But most people see me, respect me, and care for me. I love serving people, and I am grateful for the lessons. So the next one I have read already at Something Brewed.
It's an old song.
For a little bit. Thank you.
Like old songs.
For a little bit of context, I work for NAMI. It's a National Alliance on Mental Illness. It's the oldest mental health grassroots organization in the country, and it's what I want to do with my career, the rest of my life. And yeah, I really have a huge piece of my heart now. Like, I've only been there, like, I want to say 2 months now, but I feel like it's just really been such a unique thing to not have like the proper education and licensure for it, but I still feel like I'm having like sort of practice and, you know, the things that I want to do, you know, the rest of my life. And it's really a mixed bag. Sometimes there's definitely some people that call and they're not the kindest, they're not really calling for the right reasons. I had a call earlier today that I was talking to my sister about. He was talking about how he was planning on making a homemade bomb and bombing the healthcare center that he felt did him so wrong. And it was a very heavy, difficult connection conversation. The team had my back, fortunately, but anyway. I feel like most of the people that I talked to on there really touched me in a very special and intimate way. So this is called the Helpline. Hello, thank you for calling the NAMI Helpline. My name is Mary. May I start by asking yours? Sharon. I'm calling because my daughter is manic, out of control. She needs an emergency hospitalization. I don't know what to do. Flashbacks to handcuffs and ankle cuffs, the back of an uncomfortable police car, snickering, laughing, snide remarks. Where are we going? Please tell me where we're going. Silence so deafening, so apathetic, my life is a fucking joke to them. I don't know what to do. Hola, gracias por llamar al NAMI Helpline. Me llamo María. ¿Cuál es tu nombre y en qué puede ayudarle hoy? Juana. Hi, I was just calling because I'm having really bad anxiety. I think I'm about to have a panic attack. I'm an orphan, my mother figure in my life can't handle it, I don't know what to do. Flashbacks. Pills on the floor, letter on the ground, a cry for help. My little sister, my world, my everything. She's panicking, she's in my room, shaking me awake. Mary, I think I just OD'd. I don't know how to help her, she's whisked off to the ER. I think whatever higher power is up there, that I can still hug her, hold her in my arms, that we can still listen to music together. Yet the panic still lingers, hiding around the corner, waiting to pounce at any given moment. Without her, my world would crumble around me. I would lose my best friend, I wouldn't know what to do. Hi, thank you for calling the NAMI Helpline. My name is Mary, what's yours? Priya. Hi, I'm calling because of my daughter. She has severe OCD. I don't know how to talk to her. She's brilliant with such a kind heart, but she was just dropped out of college. She's living at home with me and my husband. She's so angry, so resentful. She blames us. I have a PhD in biology, but the mental illness stuff is so new to me. I don't know how to talk to her, and I don't know what to do. Flashbacks. Please get out of the kitchen. You're not doing that right. Just let me clean the kitchen. I reluctantly head back to the couch. The kitchen is tidied exactly how she likes it. Then I hear her say under her breath, ugh, I never get any help around here. I'm a live-in maid, a glorified cleaning service. I feel so bewildered, so flabbergasted, I don't know what to do. Hi, thank you for calling the NAMI helpline. My name is Mary. Are you comfortable with sharing yours? Dana. Girl, I am so emotional right now. My ex-boyfriend broke up with me 5 times last week. I have severe borderline personality disorder. My biggest fear is being alone, being rejected by the people that I love the most. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Flashbacks. I'm in my bed, falling in and out of sleep. 2 a.m. My phone buzzes. Hey baby, can you please come pick me up? I'm at the Sheetz gas station off Jason Forest. I don't know how I got here. They're going to jump me. I pull up across the street. I'm not allowed to get too close. He stumbles over, beer all over his breath, eyes heavy and cheeks stained with tears. I'm so sorry. They were going to kill me. They saw my heart brand. This gang shit have follows me everywhere. Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. I'm angry. I'm terrified. My boyfriend is broken in too many places, the places that I am also broken. My heart has been shattered and the pieces have been sewn back together too many times to count. I love him, but I hate him at the same damn time. Where do I go from here? I don't know how to help him, and I don't know what to do. Hello, thanks for calling the NAMI helpline today. My name is Mary, what's yours? Mary, how can I help me?
I love the emotion. It's awesome. Mary, that was great. So, what time is it? What's that?
8:09.
8:09. 8:09. All right, so anybody, I just kind of go down the list. Did you have one, too?
Yeah.
Okay, Marina, did you want to do another one, too? And Justin, do you have anything? You can always say no. Anna, did you want to do? Okay, I think I can do Dennis, you got anything?
I could tell a story.
Tell the story. All right, well, let's go that far, and then maybe we'll get to Sam, too. And then, looks like everybody, I love that. All right, let's do it. Second round. That, she's first.
All right.
Wow.
You go, CK.
It's okay, I'm gonna do 2 little shorter ones. That work? Okay. I can't decide.
Can't decide.
This is one.
Well, we're here till, they're not gonna kick us out, which is awesome.
There's a poem that I read a lot, but I'm not gonna read that one. It's called Last October. It's about watching someone get sober, and this is one that I kind of put in that family of poems. It's called Gut Rot, and it's almost one that I did not include in this collection, and then somebody encouraged me to in the last second. So it is about dating somebody where you're doing drugs and getting drunk, and it's a lot of fun at the time, and then you start to realize that it's not so fun. It goes, 3 a.m., it is the hour of sin. You're working out pain, and I work the night shift. 5 a.m. comes, but how did you reach it? Did you stay up all night, or did it come in your sleeping? We're in a parking lot outside of a superstore, waving our arms in front of the auto doors, trying to order food from a gas station. It's the only thing open, and you said you're paying. My eyes are bigger than my stomach. I'm adding things to the basket. Anything you want, baby. You can have it. Love tastes like a milkshake and tater tots, asphalt and gut rot. It's coming up my throat, but I'll swallow it whole. I'll show my body who's in control. I'm in the passenger seat. You probably shouldn't be driving, but taking risks is making me feel alive. And risky is my hand out the window and yours on my thigh. Never knew what either of them were trying to find. I'm swinging my fist. I want to stop for a beer. I'm going to reach across the console and try to steer. You're laughing. It's not really funny. It's getting late. Do you really love me? We're listening to the guy on the curb play violin. You're close to my ear whispering. You say one day you're going to make me a bride. I know that you're lying. I know that that's life. And I don't know why you say things that aren't really the truth. Who told you that was something you were supposed to do? I lay my head on your chest. You grab me with both of your arms and clasp your hands. You apologize for the way that things have been. I want to accept it, but it doesn't make sense. Like you're holding the hose and I'm getting wet. You're saying the right things. You ask why I'm always so mad. I'm always around you. I'm always feeling bad. Thank y'all. All right, this is one called The Toughest Part, and it's about justice. I want to and go mad. I want to live to tell about it. I want to spread the rumors around town and hope they never dispel them. I want to see it come back to bite them and hear the women scream. I want to hold the consequences of what he did to me. I want the stakes to burn and take the whole building to the ground. I want to find the center of this godforsaken town. And when I get there, I'll build a throne made of stones and jewels and beads. I will sink my molars into the toughest part of the meat. And I want to come to the bridge and cross it, ponder what lessons I've learned, take that match behind me and watch that whole bridge burn. I want to wake the sleeping dogs, ignore the beware signs hung. I want you to look me in the eyes and tell me what you would have done. I want to force the bygones to be something else. I want the chance to paint my picture. I want you to hold the microphone and tell the world you tricked her. I want to find a trophy case to hold the hatchet so that everyone has a chance to look. I want to rob your house and get back everything you took. I want to drag my muddy boots across the slate every time you try to wipe it clean. I want you to tell the truth, even if it's just to me. I want to understand why it's on me. Who put the ball in my court? I'm out here shooting free throws blindfolded and they're giving you support. It's up to me to grin and bear it, to find the side that's bright when the room is flashing, to see the glass half full even if it's cracking, to go with the flow in a hurricane, to make the best of everything, to take the good things with the bad, to breathe the life I could have had. But I'm not sure that I want to. I don't know that I'm ready. If I lay this to rest, it's just one thing of many. And maybe I want the flames to take us down, to find a bush to beat around, to spend my days on top of this fence, to get permission to stop pretending that I've moved on, or I can see your perspective, let alone eye to eye. I can't leave well enough alone, I am writing in the sky. And maybe one day down the line, business will be as usual, forgiveness could be mutual, and I will find a fresh start. I will smoke the peace pipe and let the tar settle in my lungs.
This is what's so great about doing the second round, because you get all charged up. Yeah, you can do this. Rita, yeah. And Mary, did you want to read? And did I miss anybody else that might have just come in?
What is this?
You want to read poetry?
Overall?
Yeah.
Oh, we just came from kickball. Next time. Next time.
Hi again. I'll read like maybe a couple poems. This room is divided in two. I sit on both sides. A third of me walks through on the infinite path as I yell and whisper. It's ruined. It's not ruined. It's ruined. It's not ruined. It's ruined. It's not ruined. This intrusive bottled, atrophied, hysterical, alienated intuition foreshadows the departures of grandmothers, wrinkled footprints in the snow, children watching as they go. The waking is fresh today and something is asking, do you feel alive? I want the description. What is it like? Inner stars calling to outer night, singing in vibrations of combined light. Is there still the seventh sense of the heaviness of things? There's a temporary shine, like when you're caught, flashing diamonds out the eye. Like binary bliss, calling home her daughters, shining naked truth and ostentatious lie. But most of the time, the breaking free feels like breaking bones. The escape jailed by shadow fingers, made of grasping heat from inside the flesh, inspiring to make it crawl. I don't think that I'm ready for the fall, though it sounds appealing, like a sweet voice screaming from inside the next door neighbor's wall. When I turn to face her, the sound falters. Turns out, she's in the inside of my skull, mostly made of shadows, birthed in slowed down time. I am alive at this junction with the moment, as I lift the leg, tripped by the tree roots on the cliff, placed in plain sight, but seemed too late.
My exercise doctor. I'm not. So, sticking with death and waitresses, but not cats. This is not another cat poem, and it's not about death either, although it's true the cat died last Friday. It's also not about divorce,
which may be a surprise. No, this poem is about something new. So new, I have not yet seen it. Oregon, maybe, or the Northern Lights, or Mount Lemmon in Tucson. I will find someone who's seen those things and tease this poem out of him. He will insist I try the blueberry pie at the Mount Lemmon Cafe, where the waitress will say, with practiced bemusement, do you want that a la mode or a la lone? And I will work her into every story I tell about Tucson. Right after I tell about the saguaro, the way they look so huggable until you get up close. He will go on to marry someone else, that man. And I will tell my Tucson story at his wedding and hug his new wife like a saguaro. That's how I know this isn't a divorce poem. And they will be dog people, which rules out the cat. And I will write this poem quickly, before any of us has a chance to die.
Dennis, do you want to do a little
Story?
Sure.
Okay.
Maybe within 2 hours. No, I'm just joking.
Well, no, that's a good point because, as you know, I'm Irish, and so it's
I know, that's why I had this flicker of fear.
I don't know that any of this will be funny. We probably won't. But, it'll all be true. So
Okay.
the first part will be true, ain't funny. So you got to keep that in mind. So I have a really good friend who's from Derry, Northern Ireland. You probably heard of a thing called the Troubles, and yeah. So this has to do with that. And he was in charge of security for Derry. Now, if you know anything about the time, the IRA took over parts of Derry. You know, the Cregan, Bogside, that sort of thing. And they called it Free Derry, and they kept the British troops and the constabulary out. Now, that's a bit of a problem, because not everybody who lived in those neighborhoods was like, you know, pure driven snow, right? So the IRA then had to figure out how to provide security, and they made my friend, who at the time was 16, in charge of security for Derry. So they had a bit of a problem. Anyway, one day he's walking down the street in the wee hours of the morning, and he's got a gas can in his hand. And by wee hours, I mean, you know, it's not really sun up yet. Pretty chilly, pretty windy, kind of damp. And he's walking down Prince Street, and there's this snazzy blue car, like a brand new car. And people in the Bogside and Derry and the Brandywell, you know, they're pretty poor. So it's like, that's weird. Brand new snazzy car. Anyway, he goes up to the car. There's no crime really much to speak of. So he opens the door of the car, starts pouring the gas in, pours the gas on the hood, pours the gas in the back seat, leaves the rest of the gas can in the car, gets out a book of matches. Wham! And a big explosion. And it's chilly, so he spends a few moments warming himself in the heat of the flames. And of course, people are waking up because some windows were shattered, quite literally. And he walks back up the street to 123, knocks on the door, pounds on the door, pounds on the door. Finally, a guy comes to the door in his underwear. He's just got out of bed. And, you know, he kind of looks at the young fellow in front of him, and the fellow says, I think your car's on fire. And the guy steps out and he sees it and he says, oh my God. And he runs back in to get his clothes on. And so he gets dressed and all that, and as he comes charging out the door, my friend kind of puts his hand up and stomps him against his chest. And he says, and by the way, if you're here tomorrow, that'll be you. So, yeah, that was called street justice, the way it was done in Derry. Now, that was not funny, obviously. So I'll tell you a little snippet of a thing or two, which is also true. It's the Saudi Arabian eye test to get your driver's license. So I spent 3 years in Saudi Arabia. This lady spent 3 years with me there. Lucky devil, she had a baby there. She could tell you some stories, but that's a whole nother ballgame. And anyway, when we got there, you know, we got to get a driver's license. You got to go for an eye test. Well, and you had to read the manual. Of course, it was in English. Hallelujah, because I didn't learn Arabic. One thing in the manual which is interesting, the driver's manual, you all read it, one of these, someone, I've read it, yeah, is if you see a car approaching your car, like you're driving down the road, you see a car approaching your car, within 150 feet of you coming together, you have to start honking your horn, and you keep honking your horn until you're 150 feet past. Now, if I told you Saudi Arabia was one hell of a noisy place back in the 1980s, now you kind of get a clue into that, you know? It's like, my God, the horn honking is crazy. But anyway, they took us down to an old Turkish fort in town, made out of adobe, you know? Now, they had more modern, like, rooms and buildings inside. That was the outside wall. And it was for the eye test. There hadn't been 200 people. And they had us lined up single file, snaking around like an S all through this courtyard of this fort. And way up there was a door. And the door would periodically open, and somebody would call in about 15 people, and the door would shut, and we'd move up. I was in line maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So anyway, when my group of 15, they call us all in. They tell us to line up around the side of the room. So we're all lined up, and there's the old Snelling chart there. And the first guy by the door, they hand him an index card and said, put this over your right eye and read that chart. And the guy says, I can't read it. Well, we've been standing out in 120 degree heat in the burning sun. And you go into a dark room, you can't see anything. And so, but the Pakistani fella doing the thing says, what do you mean you can't see? And the guy said, well, I can't see. I can't see the chart. And he said, well, you can't drive and be blind. Out of here. And they threw him out. So, you know, watch out if you ever do the driving test in Saudi Arabia. So then the last thing is, I was drafted in 1969. And I just got my degree in psych. You kind of reminded me of this, actually. So, yeah, I just got my degree, and I had to report for duty on July 3rd, which I found very ironic, because the next day was supposedly like Independence Day, and I just lost mine. And anyway, on my basic training, and you know, they told me to spring kill, do all this hand-to-hand, and wave my bayonet around and stuff, bayonet in the dummy, and I said, no, I can't do it. I can't yell kill. I don't know where that came from. I scared the living hell out of myself, telling these Army guys, I'm not yelling kill, you know. And so they told me to get down and do 60 push-ups. Well, I was a lot thinner then, but there is no way in hell I could get down and do 60 push-ups. Anyway, they sent me to the chaplain. And the chaplain says, you know, like yada yada. And basically I said, look, I'm not flying 8,000 miles away from home to kill somebody. That just ain't happening. It's not me. And they made me a medic. And I thought, hallelujah. Honest to God, I felt so good. Because instead of having to carry a weapon and kill somebody, I would carry an aid bag, you know, and maybe I'd be toast, but that was better from my point of view. Anyway, none of it was. So they put me in psychiatry. And so I worked at Walter Reed in psychiatry. And lovely place. So there was a guy in the psych ward. He was diagnosed OCD and catatonic, schizophrenic catatonic phase, although he wasn't really catatonic. But the interesting thing about it was I was into behavior modification, so they let me do behavior mod because they noticed that this guy loved coffee. And I put it in the nurse's notes, like, don't give him coffee unless he talks, because he never talked. He refused to talk. He was mute. And so everybody kind of bought into it. And one day he talked. And everything he had to say was a curse word. And I mean, really, really off-color stuff. But he was talking. And it was like, this is a monumental step forward. The next thing we got to do is like get him to like not curse out people. But a friend of mine who was also a psych medic said to me one day, he said, you know, there's a lot of brass in Walter Reed. And there is. Generals, colonels, you know, they're all over the place. The place is dripping over. And he said, what if we take so-and-so out for a walk? And so we did. And guess what? Every time he saw an officer coming by, he cursed that man upside one and downside the other. And we would say, oh, excuse me, sir. He's a psych technician. Oh, okay. And it was the most wonderful thing. It was like therapy.
I'm done.
You notice the guy poking his head, that's the guy from the comedy thing, so we're gonna start the comedy.
8:27.
We got time. We got time. Anybody need a beer? Thank you.
Well, I don't know how to follow that.
Those are funny. That's good.
I was going to do something serious, and I was like, maybe not, but maybe I will. Speaking of psych stuff and drugs and all that good stuff, this is a quote about my son, who has post-psych, exacerbates having drugs, all that good stuff. This poem is entitled My Beautiful Dime. That damn fine dime, turning tide to minus ebb, feeding time, my beautiful dime, deepening souls, creating ghouls, casting stones on shifting shoals, rising moons and setting suns. Darkness comes with raindrop runs, rivers flow past forgotten homes, with no return. Reading endless, mindless tones of hearts that burn, ill intent, into time, into spent. The maddening crowd, so discontent, for all shoulders shrugged, children hugged Mr. Brown. And the man about time, the dime rolled on, like a very young song tossed into the sea. -9, minus me. Heads up, shiny lost, luck laughter tossed in chocolate teeth. The smile beneath it all on his post. My dime stood tall. Why must God fall? To teach us all, no tide, no time. My beautiful dime. If Joseph had planted the seed, would he be, I am? Away in his crib above the light, my dime grows now tall, it shows the way, the truth, the light.
I read another.
So this was more crafty.
All right.
Finger-stripping sex. Finger-stripping sex like honey from the lips of Delphine, with the sunlight glint like the hint of the spark that is sent when you scream. The tip of my tongue tasting the tart at the start of your heart deep inside your well, as your thighs lend surprise to the sensual guise covering the deeper desires they do tell. With my hands and my glands, I'll uncover your plans long yearning. With mind, body, and touch, it's almost too much to hold on to learning and determining. Slow, sexual, soft, and the hardness now churning, you purring like a milk-drenched kitten, so smitten, love-bitten, ecstatically crying, so satisfied, sighing, in my, oh my, mine, the love of life after dying. Your lips and the drips on your hips, the sunlight window pane painted on skin, dappled and dippled in feeling, soul trickled. I uncover the cover and hover above her, oh lover, discoverer, finder of fate. Is it too late, I ask, to ask for a date?
Marty, want to do that? You stepped your toe on all this. You want to do it? You want another one?
Does anybody else want to go first? I don't know.
Well, we got Meredith next. Meredith, you got something? You want to go? Oh my God, yes. Yeah. You think, so we'll do you next. Do you have something? Yeah.
I'm Brittany. I have never done anything like this. I'm super nervous, so please be nice. You guys have all been so far, so I think I'm in good hands. On the subject of death and addiction, I lost my brother a couple years ago, and I find a lot of solace in writing about him. So all my poems are like super, super short, sometimes they're like 5 lines, so let me gather myself and then we'll do this. I remember you chasing me crying, me angry, you laughing, me still crying, and now I'm here watching them, getting mad, crying, laughing so hard they're going to pee their pants, more crying, but without you. Who really ever thought we'd have to do this without you? sitting here watching, getting mad at you, getting sad at you, feeling lonely without you.
Just another one.
Okay, I think I have two more. Couple are about my brother, a couple are just like being depressed and sad and hating yourself and hating the world, you know. This one is a really short one. I feel myself going back into the abyss of my own demise. I create the fire here, and I am the one to set myself aflame. Why do I love the smell of burnt skin? Okay. Okay. One more, and then I'm done. Thank you all so much. This has been really nice, and I'm not actually that anxious. No, my third one. And who knows where we're supposed to be at that point in time? Not physically, but mentally. You were once a person who held yourself to different standards, and now you're just throwing them out the window to start again, start new.
That's what I love. All right. Yeah? Yeah. Stupid. No, you. Hey. Cool. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So some of y'all have already did this one too. I really wish Pam could have made it, but she's working. I was like, you can't get the shift card anyways. It's fine. I mean, I did all this because of her. You know, I started coming. I would have never seen myself going to these kinds of things, just because I feel like I didn't have the balls to sort of go back into sort of this creative space of some of these things are gonna be really traumatic, ruminating on things that I would rather not sometimes, but then putting it down on paper is very emotionally cathartic, and then I feel better. So she introduced me to y'all, and I really, couldn't thank her enough for that. But this poem is called Odd Numbers. It was something inspired by a conversation we were having in the middle of the night, and it was super silly, and I was like, wait, maybe there's a little bit of a deeper meaning here. But it's called Odd Numbers. Before you, the only numbers I liked were even. 8, 16, 24, 32. So perfect, so mathematically neat. No way I could ever like odds too. You told me I only like odd numbers. Even numbers have bad juju. When I heard this, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was absurd. 13 is my forever unlucky number. Nothing good ever comes in 13s. But then I got to thinking, odd numbered years were some of my best. 15, 19, 21, the happiest I've ever been. I just turned 23 with big dreams and high expectations for this year to be at least a little better than 16, 18, 20, 22. Since meeting you, I cannot have the car volume on anything other than an odd number. So maybe, just maybe, I'll grow to love them just like you.
Marty.
On a path of lesser resistance to get up there.
You should have seen this place before, didn't you?
So sorry, that just took us away from the death, but I'm going to bring us back. So either you're welcome or I'm sorry. So I'm going to read one thing. Well, I'm going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb because my partner is watching this, and I don't want their notifications popping. Okay, so back at the end of last year, I left the job that I was at to help take care of my grandfather as he passed, and I really turned to writing during that time of being at his house with my family and the hardest nights, but also some of the most rewarding nights that I've ever spent. So the first thing is something that I wrote just sitting on the couch at 3 a.m. And then the second thing I'll read is the poem that I wrote for his eulogy when my mom walked up and was like, "Oh, you're reading something you wrote today, right?" So I was like, "Yeah, sure, I guess so." And I strung together a bunch of things that I had already written about him
in my notes app from years before. So, the idea of finding joy in unexpected places, like the frustration I feel when my sick grandfather decides to get up at 2 a.m., even if it means falling. He reminds me of myself. I get my tenacity from him, I think, an inability to take no for an answer, no matter how inconvenient it is for someone else, no matter how it stretches and strains those around me. The pain in my left shoulder matches yours. So does the t-shirt on my chest, stretched fiber full of holes from wear. The little pocket, also on the left, holding talisman of rest. You make me laugh even when I don't want to. When I could cry and scream and puke my insides out onto my outsides. When it's 3 a.m. and I'm awake for the 4th time tonight, in a living room that smells of shit. When you're headstrong and refuse to stay sitting because your ass hurts, you want to stretch, you want to go for a walk, or you've got your mind set on finding something in the house. I will still hold on to you, even when you tell me to let go. I will hold the weight even when you think you can hold it on your own. And then, yeah, this is what I wrote and read at his funeral. It's called Papa. A love like never-ending porch thinning, like Cherokee purples and tomato mayonnaise sandwiches and invaluable wisdom shared, like blue grass and blueberry bushes and the smell of fresh air, like the first light of spring and every summer night that follows, like bluebirds and baby squirrels and always learning and growing and teaching no matter who is listening. Like learning to look for something to love in every day of the week to remind me that it's good to be alive and I get to carry on your legacy. Thank you for always asking what I wanted you to grow in the garden when you knew I wouldn't eat meat, no matter how good I knew Carol's cooking was going to be. I would apologize for the times that I was vegan, but you taught me how to be stubborn enough to stand strong and not apologize for who I am. I promise that anytime she cooks, I'll lend a helping hand and eat for you too. I will forever do anything for you. Thank you for teaching me how to be me unapologetically, and for teaching me about any and everything, from mosquito killing to rattlesnake meat. I can never thank you enough for always picking up the phone and calling me on every birthday, and major holiday, and any random Wednesday. Thank you for all of us, for all of the seeds and dirt and endless love you have always had to give and will continue to give long after we have all passed. You're a part of me and we and us forever. Thank you.
Oh, my pen, yeah. Oh, thank you. All righty. So do we have any other people that are just listening that want to? Oh, that's true. So this comes to an end again. You guys are great. Freshly brewed poems. You guys, please stick around, talk to each other, and if you have any questions. We will be also, I'm going to talk to him about, we will be doing a Saturday afternoon freshly brewed poem thing at Crave Barbecue and Hot Dogs on Overland Road on August 5th. Thank you. I keep trying to do the 8th. And Dennis wants to give his shameless thing again. Because it's going to be in this room. It's going to be really cool. So we're kind of, yeah.
Thank you. Just a couple of seconds, I'm going to do my shameless advert again for Barroom Beckett, which we're going to do here on August the 9th. And I have flyers if you have any interest at all. It's not all Beckett. There's some Pinter, Maya Angelou. There's a fellow who's going to do a Greek puppet thing. So I mean, it's a variety of, but top-notch performers, one of whom is in the back of the room right there, Mr. Kurt Benred, is going to be doing, with Doug Kapp, dialogue from Waiting for Godot. In any event, I have some flyers. It has the ones where, as far as it's all free, it's right here in this room. On the back of the flyer, it has who's doing the what, so you'll be able to see what kind of performances we're going to do, and it should be a good time. Hopefully it'll be a good time. So if you're interested at all, make sure you get a flyer when you leave, and you'll know what's happening. So thank you.
Right. Anybody else going to be someplace that, you need to plug, just let us know. You have books when you get your book. You're going to bring it to us so that you can sell it to us. All right, thanks guys. Right. Cool. Hey, we're done. Ooh, something.